Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, I'm all about empowering you with tools and strategies to transform your life and career. All right, so today I want to share my favorite story from the book called Copycat Marketing, right? And this story has been an eye-opening for me because I used to ask this question that why people choose to live in, a miserable situation, why they don't make changes in their lives, right? And this is very thought-provoking story as well, and that's why I decided to share this with all of you. Now, the story is about middle-aged manager, like mid-aged manager, and he was struggling to pay his bills. So he decided to take an appointment from the financial advisor, right? Whose office is basically in a very fancy building, and the location has been described as a Park Avenue. So there was this office like in a very fancy and luxurious building. So he booked an appointment and then he visited his office. So as soon as he entered the receptionist room, he actually found out two more doors instead of the receptionist, right? On one door there was written employee, and on another door it was written self-employed, right? So obviously he was an employee, so he opened the door of employee and entered into that, right? When he entered into that door, he again found out two more doors. So on one door it was written income less than $40,000, and on another door it was written income more than $40,000. So obviously his income was less than $40,000, so he opened that door and entered it. When he entered that door, there were another two doors he found out. On one door it was written savings less than $2,000, and the next door on the right it was written saving more than $2,000, right? And obviously he was struggling to pay his bills, and he checked his savings. He only got $1,000, so he opened that door. Only then he realized that he landed on the Park Avenue once again. So he was looping himself in the same cycle. So this was very thought-provoking for me, that it's all about the choices that we make in our lives. And we do get opportunities. If someone says, oh, I never get an opportunity, I believe it's a lie. And it never happens. Every single person on the planet Earth gets some sort of opportunity that can allow them to change their lives, right? So it's all about choices that we make. And one of the major concern that I want to address here, that a lot of people, when they see that opportunity, like this guy chooses like employee and then self-employed, right? Becoming a self-employed person, then that means you're starting your own business, right? But obviously it's a different kind of business. It's a small business. It's not a big business model, but here you at least can get started from somewhere. Make sense? There are so many issues. What I have learned, that why people are reluctant to transition from 9 to 5 to full-time business. And I want to address some of them in today's video. And I was just reading a psychological perspective of that why it is happening, what is happening inside our head, and in the background, that why people are so scared to move from 9 to 5 to the full-time online business, even just starting it, right? Not leaving the job. In my previous video I already talked about that you are not required to leave the job to start your business. You can still start something in parallel, right? And start putting in your time so that one day you can be financially independent, right? So the number one thing that people have, what I have seen, is fear, right? And I was reading this fact that what are the roots of fear, and I found out there is a part of brain which is called amygdala, which is responsible, for emotional response of fear. That is the science behind that, right? And that usually originates when we face uncertainty usually, right? And in business there is uncertainty. There is no guarantee, right, that you will be successful. And this is obviously for our own safety. That's how God has designed us, right? And so that if we don't know what is next, we usually have that fear naturally coming through, right? But how do we, encounter that, right? By gauging the results. All right. Someone rightly said, if you keep doing the same thing throughout your life, don't expect the different results, right? So we need to gauge that, okay, if I get into the business, what are the results am I getting? And then that again comes down to your goals. What are you trying to achieve through that business? And if you're achieving that through the employment, that's perfectly fine. You stay in employment. But rejecting a business opportunity based on fear, that would not be the right decision, right? Because fear can be addressed, it can be managed, it can be used to push you in the right direction, to in fact push you forward. That means you can have the fear of not achieving your goals in a couple of years through your employment. And if you imagine yourself after a couple of years, or maybe let's say 5 years, that you are still staying in the same place, then it can be scary for you if those goals are really important for you. If they are like just a wishful thought, then it doesn't matter. If you achieve them, yes, that's well and good. If you're not achieving them, that doesn't matter. It's all right. You're still okay. You're still happy. So fear is number one thing that usually stops people to take a decision, right? And I would highly recommend to do your own analysis, that what are the decisions that you have taken in your life, right, where you have encountered those fears. All right. So that can help you to analyze, okay, and how you become successful after taking that decision. One of the example I would like to address here, like I myself have migrated, right, from a third world country to the first world country, and that decision was very scary for me because I was all by myself, right? But what I understood, that if I miss this opportunity, I might miss the opportunity to change my life at all, right? I will be stuck here, and I'll keep doing whatever am I doing. So I took the leap of faith, right? And when you are in this situation, trust me, God has designed our body miraculously. Like you can face anything or everything if you are determined to go through that journey. No one can stop you. So we are the biggest obstacle in our decision. We are not able to foresee that what this decision or this opportunity can bring to our life. We are ready to compromise on our goals or whatever it is, our dreams, but we are not ready to take that leap. That imagine that fear is so high, how high that fear is. So we are driven by the fear basically, right? That's why we are not able to take the decision. And then there is another thing. Psychologically, we have so much illusion of security in the job, right? Because we are driven by paycheck to paycheck, monthly paycheck, the salary is coming in, while in the business you have to spend time, you have to spend money, you have to work hard. Unless you make money out of it, maybe in 1 year, in 2 years, in 3 years, right? When you start a business, forget straight away, like at least 5 years. Like you have to put hard work. Like, I mean, in 2 to 3 years you may start seeing the money after that, but obviously not at that scale, probably where you can say that you are financially independent. Let's be realistic, right? There are some businesses where yes, people do make money, but they are very less and exceptional. The more data you have, you can realize businesses takes time, to grow, to nurture, and also to make a substantial profit that you're looking for to become financially independent. So understanding that bit. And security in terms of, job is obviously not guaranteed. And we have seen that, like, when COVID hit, when, whenever the world crisis hit, the the most part that has been affected is the employment, right? And now the technology is kicking in. Like, see, look at AI. A lot of tasks can be done by AI, right? Now the new jobs will be generated, there will be new jobs in the market, and there might be a limited number of that, not as much as they were required previously, like, do the labor work and all that stuff, which AI can easily do. But there will be a higher skilled jobs in future, right? So you need to be updated with the market trends, that whatever is happening in the market, in the job market itself. And that's how you analyze that how secure your job is. Nothing is guaranteed. Business can allow you to build an asset for yourself. And a lot of people don't understand the definition of the asset and the liability. They buy the house, they think it's an asset. They buy the car, they think it's an asset. Asset is basically a money. Asset is basically a thing that can put money in your pocket, and liability takes money out of your pocket. So if you have bought a house and you're paying mortgage, that's not an asset, that's a liability. If you have bought a fancy car and you are paying installments each and every month, that's a liability, that's not an asset, right? Where you can build an asset, through the business. Business can pump in money when you're not even working. There are models around the world, right, that can provide you this opportunity, that you can still, if you don't want to work, you don't work, but the business can still pump in money into your pocket. How? You have to work hard to build that kind of system. This is called system-centric income, right? So educating yourself about what is happening in the market, and what will be the right decision to take at specific moment of your life, what kind of experiences you need to go through, is very important. Because if you're not aware what is happening in your surrounding, all of a sudden when the world is hit by COVID, like, we were not prepared. A lot of people could not even imagine, like, losing their jobs. They were so much in comfort zone, but people have lost their jobs, right? And people have committed suicides, people have died because of COVID, right? So that is the most alarming thing, that we should fear as an uncertainty, rather than having an opportunity, having a door of opportunity in front of us and not opening the right door, and then blaming the fate that this was not, in our fate and we didn't get the opportunity and things like that. These are just the excuses that our mind makes up, just to comfort us. And the number 3 thing that I want to talk about is the comfort zone. Obviously, when you are, moving, you are changing, it's uncomfortable. You have to push yourself out, you have to push, you have to learn new skills, right? And you have to push yourself out of comfort zone. And that is so uncomfortable that people just want to stay where they are, without realizing that how it can impact their future. So that's the reason in my book, Master the Power of Organic Motivation, which was my number 1 best-selling book, and this was my first book, I talked about the comfort zone as a danger zone, or you can call it as a red zone. So staying in a comfort zone can really, really spoil you, and you can never grow when you are in the comfort zone. The growth only happens outside of the comfort zone. So, and this is not something that is not possible. You can train yourself to be outside your comfort zone. And that's how I am now. Like, it was obviously uncomfortable when I got into entrepreneurship, when I started my business. I was so frustrated, I was having an anxiety and all that stuff. And when you start making changes in your life, you will go through that. It's a natural response of your body. When you understand it's a natural response, but you know that what you're doing is the right thing, you keep pushing, and then your body get trained to stay out of your comfort zone. Now, if I myself is inside the comfort zone, then I get anxiety. I have to push myself, I have to be outside of my comfort zone to keep growing because my body is now used to it, right? So I hope this helps. And if you like this video, please share with someone who might be looking for some sort of help, and like my video, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I will see you next time. Bye for now.